Well, hello, and it's Memorial Day. I hope you're having a good holiday. Cheers. Rocking my John Coltrane t-shirt this morning. Let's have a sip. Cheers. How was your Sunday evening of a long weekend? Mine was noisier than hell. I understand the idea of partying, but I don't like how people are just completely inconsiderate of the neighborhood, blasting really loud music after 10 o'clock at night, which is what I have to put up with on holidays. And no, I'm not going to get out there and do the same. It's so inconsiderate. Anyway, how are you doing? How am I doing this morning? I'm doing pretty good, and hope you enjoy the day, whatever it means to you. Memorial Day. Honor it. I hope you honor it. I'm looking forward to my sister and brother-in-law coming in town this weekend. So that'll be a holiday for me. Today is basically just another day. But going right quick to the comments, thank you so much for letting me know, the piece of music Childhood that I shared yesterday. Thank you for hearing it. It is beautiful, and it is exactly what it says it was. It was inspired by the sound of the piano patch, which is old creaky piano. So it has that creaking sound in it. But the melody, which I'm very, very happy with, and I could say egotistically I'm proud of it, but it came to me. See, that's the thing that I really recognize about music, is that it doesn't belong to anyone. It belongs to you in the sense of what it means to you, but the music comes to us. And then it comes through us, and I'm so glad that appeared to me. If I don't forget, while I was listening last night to some tracks, because the childhood got me to pull an older CD mix to listen, and some other pieces came up where it's like, oh, now I kind of think I know what the next part of this could be. Some artists will tell you that a song, lyrics, music, sometimes it'll come like that. Other times you'll be working on it for years, or it will be months, days, years before the next part appears or makes itself obvious. This is what the next thing should happen in the music. So I, if anything, today I'll open up the studio and chase that, what I thought I heard last night, and see if I can capture it. I must also admit to you that because I can create music, it has a lot to do with why I'm okay with being very opinionated and telling you what I think about music, because I can make music, and I can make good music. And sometimes music is just not good enough for me, but it doesn't have to be. It depends on how it strikes me. That's why some music survives and other music has to go. So let me make an example, because some people may not understand, but I think most of you do understand. We all have our preferences. We don't have to like something just because it's good or because it's popular. So, for example, I've been mentioning Queen. He's been a burr in my ass all my life, actually, as far as how did that happen? Honestly, it's like, how did he become so popular? So I was pulled this last night. This is a New Zealand or Australian band. Teeth. It's on Flying Nun. Great. This is real lo-fi, real scratchy. People who can barely play. It's probably why you've never heard of this. This comes out of the post-punk thing. So I played it. I'm keeping it as part of my Flying Nun collection. I really like that label. But then I listened to see why did Flying Nun pick up on this? Because this is musically scratchy and primitive. But their thing comes through. Their reason for doing this, I hear it. And ooh, look at that. Look at an insert. How about that? That's I don't see that too much on Flying Nun records. So and without being sympathetic toward this, it was like, does this have what I call that essence rarity? It does. Yes, it does. It most certainly does. I love finding out about music documentaries about not necessarily the main artist. And so I found one yesterday, Gravitas Documentaries. And I'm going to pull it up because I watched it all the way through. It was really good. And I learned a lot about this person. It's like, oh, wow, really? That's who that is? Come on. Stay with me, folks. Just hang with me. It's watching about the tornadoes. Okay, and something else that I watched was a documentary on the show You Can't Do That on Television. I used to really enjoy that show, as odd as that might seem. Okay, so it's way back here, but it was like Snuffy Walden. Okay, just forget it. Snuffy Walden is a guitar player who I became familiar with because of this band, Stray Dog, while you're down there, on the ELP label, Manticore. Now, this is mainly a southern rockin' kind of sound, but the standout is the last song on here, Whirlwinds. It's prog. But even beside that, the band is really good, and Snuff is a good guitar player. Well, I happened upon a documentary about him because it turns out that after he sobered up and after all the band stuff, he became a film composer, and he's the one that did the music for The West Wing and 30-something. Now, I'm not a dedicated TV watcher, but that music was so ubiquitous that even I know even I recognize the theme to West Wing. I didn't watch those shows. So it was fascinating and it was wonderful to see the trajectory of his life. It was also nice to see a documentary where the main focus was not tragedy. That upsets me, that we're so focused on the rise and then the downfall, the tragedy, and how we always land on that and stay on that more than usually. There's some things where it's a phoenix rising from the ashes and retribution, things like that. But that bums me that we're so tragically oriented. But Snuff Walden, just look up the name if you're interested in seeing the documentary. It was refreshing, and so I gave the album a fresh listen, and I don't like it any more now than I did then, knowing his story. It's the same. It's the last song, Whirlwinds. That's an example of the kind of prog that I like. And I didn't play any other records yesterday. I put on a little bit of this in El Centrum. It's a compilation of artists who played at this venue somewhere in Europe. And this is what I enjoyed on this the most was Der Plan and Chris and Cozy, some rare tracks by them on here. Other stuff on here is like Zev. I think is SPK on here. That sort of thing, which I like. I do. I do like noise. I do like sound. Leibach is on here. SPK, yeah. Excuse me, Hafler Trio. Hafler Trio are very interesting. So I haven't gotten back to the Discus releases I mentioned that I need to listen to and review, because that's what they send to me, is they want me to review them. I need to do that. Sitting down here, is there anything to just riff on? Well, actually, I was thinking about this, little things trigger memories, don't they? And something triggered some memories of my parents' jam sessions, my dad's jam sessions at the house, particularly when we lived at 1207 Pierce Street. Stephanie, I know you watch, and I don't think you remember them like I do with as much detail, because these events were amazing to me. I remember two in particular where we were, shuttled out of the room and told to go to bed. But how are we supposed to go to bed when the house is full of people playing live music, jamming their asses off? I remember this one where it was so exciting, I just had to see. So I was peeking through the keyhole. Remember keyholes on those old doors? Now, I don't remember this for sure. There was one time where I got to go in, where they just let me in while they were playing. That was one time that was unusual. Most of the time they scoot us out because everybody's so high and out of it. I know that it was mostly local musicians, but here are some people who may have been at the jam sessions, because that's the other thing. You think about it. Somebody has a gig and people they want to do an after hours thing. Well, if there's no after hours thing, then you go to somebody's house. And I bet that's what happened on this one in particular, was like it went all night. And I just wonder, was Johnny Griffin there that night? Was T-Bone Walker there? Who famous or who well known was there that prompted the jam session? It was electric. I don't know. I was just a kid. I can't remember. Thought I'd mention that. So that's what's up. Only other thing I can really show you is that sitting here from what I showed in the 7-Up 45s group was Sly and the Family Stone. If it were left up to me, promos, mono stereo promos. I've had so many over the years. If I had known what I know now about a lot of those records, boy, what I had and what I don't have now. I still have some cool stuff though. Here's one. Edgar Winter, Tobacco Road, mono stereo promo. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. So regarding making the track Childhood available, that will happen eventually. That song, I shared it with you. It wasn't even in the queue for what I'm thinking about putting on my next album. I have that much material. Like I said, I could put out a couple different releases. I have more stuff like Childhood. Doesn't sound like it, but it's quiet, calm. Not necessarily the Muse material. So we'll see where my thoughts go with that. I love the feedback though. And it's good to hear from some of you folks. John McCrae, nice to hear from you. I'm glad you like it. Gorbo, Carm, and you got to meet Enrico Rava. Very cool. Thank you, folks. Thank you yes, nice melody. It is touching. It touches me. More than 2 people said that they teared up listening because of what it reminds them of days gone by, childhood. That's the beauty and the power of music. Someone else says, love the music that you played in the beginning, and I love what you have to say as well. Your words resonate with me. That's why I appreciate you so much. Happiness, love, and peace always, and the same to you and everyone. Thank you, folks. People are still just now finding out about Steve Albini. Isn't that something? Thank you. Yes, it's sublime. Yeah. Yes, I did actually know that Clive Stevens passed away, and more folks have passed away. I can't, I don't feel like talking about everyone. And here's a cool. I think this is cool. Frank shares, great track. I lied about having a BCR when I was 9 to the neighbor. He caught me in the lie by talking to my father. Felt awful. And then Oteki says, reminds me of all the people in the 1980s who claimed to have seen the Sex Pistols in the 1970s. Tell me about it, brother. Tell me about it. People can be such liars. Mm, mm, mm. This is cool to see. I am a veteran and feel much the same as you do about Memorial Day. Well, I understand, and he also got to see Iron Butterfly. I'll share something, but, it's good to hear from a veteran because as a former mental health worker, worked with a lot of veterans, worked with the Veterans Administration here in town. We treat veterans like shit. I mean, some veterans get lucky; they get big checks. Some people do okay. A lot of veterans fall through the cracks a lot. And if you have mental health issues because of your war service, PTSD, whatever, mostly you get treated like shit. It's a shame. So bless you, veterans, and thank you. Thank you all. So a couple folks have shared that Iron Butterfly was their first concert. It wasn't mine. My first big band that I saw was at a teen fun fair. That was Sir Douglas Quintet. So if I were to talk about my very first actual concert experience, it was Blood Rock with the local band LA Carnival having the distinction of opening it up. I went to the concert by myself, which was, I was maybe 13. That was a big deal. I can't remember how I got there or got home, but it was scary, because it was my first time and I was alone. Then they had a big hit, DOA. So when they played that, it was really scary, but really good. They were really good overall. I have almost all the Blood Rock albums, and we'll keep them. But that reminded me of that. What was your first concert? And I don't remember the second one. Okay, so it's a holiday. Ray's out on his bike. We'll see what happens today. I hope you have a good one. I hope I have a good one. Share your thoughts with me. I appreciate it. I do.